Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is not like what I always do, like it's not like a programming tutorial or something like that. This one, it's more like a channel update of all where the channel go and stuff like that, and also the kind of stuff I want to do and thing like that. So first thing, it's first thank you everyone who subscribed to my channel. It mean a lot for me. Like I'm almost like at 8,500. I didn't even think I would have get 1,000, and after that no way I did think I would get 5,000, and now I'm close to 10,000. So I really appreciate it. Just looking at this number, I know it's not that much, but getting this subscriber number go up motivate me. So for that, thank you everyone. Thank you also for those who put some comments on the video and finally talking about like what the tutorial did to them, or example, so I've got email of someone who get a job with some of my ID and thing like that. So this thing, it's awesome. So thank you for that. So for those who is here to see about the podcast stuff, don't worry, I have other video for that. I have video about like adding some animation and things like that. Those things gonna come in the next few days, so don't worry about that. It just because this series gonna stop in like not a long time. I want to have another idea about what I'm gonna build and do with you. So so where I want to go with that, it's so I always kind of build like a full series, but I mean, as you know, like I've stopped some of them pretty early in the process, but for sure, like we never push something to the end and stuff like that. So this is something I want to change with me. It's having like a more regular schedule. Now I have more time. With my baby now, it's a bit older, so I have a bit more time than when he has less than a year. So, and now my plan was to maybe like building a full project with you in live streaming stuff. Finally, the project, it's for myself. It's a SaaS I did want to build, and I was thinking about maybe why not building that in front of all of you. It's not something we're gonna touch programming and stuff like that. Like you're gonna see the SaaS ID. I already have done some of the stuff, but you're gonna see what is my plan. So what I was thinking, it's maybe doing, so I'm gonna go right at the bottom. So I was thinking about doing the live streaming of my SaaS in the future, where I'm gonna do like 3 to 5 hours a week on the project. So you're gonna see me struggle, you're gonna see me surge and stuff like that. You're gonna see me have a lot of error and stuff like that. So for those who like to learn this way, that's gonna be perfect. I was thinking take this video after that and maybe cut some of the thinking, because you're gonna lose maybe 30 minutes of your time and stuff like that, to make like a series with this. Or you can just see me struggle if you like. That I was thinking about doing this like live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. So for the Twitch channel, I'm gonna put the link in the description. And the idea is really like having from zero to the MVP, where I'm gonna release it, and you're gonna learn. I mean, I'm gonna learn with you also how to play with subscription, like having like a free trial, having other stuff, having like a lot of things finally. Marketing also and stuff like that. So that's gonna be, I think, a pretty good challenge. But the thing is, I'm not quite sure if this is something we're gonna interest some of you, because the thing is, it's me building a stuff and don't really teaching it. Like for sure, I'm gonna have some stuff sometime where I'm gonna say, hey, look at that, you can do this and this way. But also, it's more like just seeing someone else code an ID. So this is something I was thinking. Like if you are not interested by that, just let me know in the comments. Or if you're interested, also let me know. I want to see if this is something who can motivate some of you to also push yourself to make your own project. That's a thing I want to do for the past 3 years. but I always struggle because the thing is you get motivated first and after that you don't because you think your idea is bad and stuff like that. So yeah, there's something to check. But the other idea of where the channel can go, it's I can do this by myself behind the scene because I'm gonna do this, so for sure. But for what can come with the channel is gonna be a full stack project with a design we can take from UpLabs. So finally, that was an idea I see from William Candian, who do a lot of React Native channel. I think he buy the design and redo the design and stuff like that. And I think it's a really great idea because for me, I'm really bad in designing. And if I get a design of something, we can do, we can, I think, go further with that. And I was thinking maybe like, I'm pretty sure you have seen this website, UpLabs and stuff like that, where you can see like new Facebook redesign and stuff like that. So we can maybe kind of create those apps with the same feature they have, but with the redesign of this person. So this is maybe something I was thinking about doing, and that would be a full stack project. And so we're gonna build a back end, the front end, we're gonna design and stuff like that. And at the end, we're gonna surely deploy that, but that don't gonna be the same kind of deploy I'm gonna do here, because here it's gonna be a Marriott project. Here is gonna be like surely like a Heroku or you know, like all this kind of paths and stuff like that. So something to check. So also one of the plan of my YouTube channel now is gonna be also making really small video, maybe like 3 to 5 minute video about a certain thing. And what I mean by that, it's a lot of the time when I work in my day-to-day job, I find some of the stuff after like an hour of certain thing like that. I was thinking about blogging those, that's gonna be the idea, but also maybe making a video about those things. So example, I have a challenge to do. So example, I don't know, like kind of an algorithm or whatever, like parsing some stuff and things like that. And I was thinking, why not just making a video about how you can achieve this kind of stuff? So because finally I want to make the video I would have liked to have find when I was searching to how to resolve those issues. So that was a thing also I want to do. This thing's gonna came for sure. I've already started that like a couple years ago when I was making like this kind of JavaScript tips and tricks, React tips and tricks, where I did show Redux process and stuff like that. I think people did like it, and I think that's something I can surely show a bit more. And about this series, so even if this is the live streaming of the SaaS and building the full stack project, etc., I don't have any idea about the technology I'm gonna use. So here I show you the technology I was thinking about using. Some of them is not even there, but like one of this, it's Next.js. So it's a Java Node.js framework. So I can show you that. It's this thing. So it's a Node.js framework. I've used it in the past, like I think that was a year ago. It's really, really awesome. Remind me a lot of Netcore and stuff like that. So this is something who kind of really excite me. It's like I even have bought the new course. I think it started like tomorrow or something like that, and it's really, really awesome. But it's a bit more like boilerplate. You have a lot of stuff, but came with the cost of having a bit more boilerplate. But I think the code become pretty clear, pretty easy to follow. Finally, it's what missing in Node.js, I find. And that's kind of what, like, you did see me like getting away from Node.js a bit. It's I don't like to do everything by myself. And what I mean by that, it's I like to follow a standard, like a convention. And this Nest.js came with some convention. You're gonna see like you have an IUC container. You have also a lot of you're gonna work also with DTOs, and finally all the OOP pattern. A lot of the time we kind of not use in Node.js. But with TypeScript now, we kind of do this pretty easily with interface and things like that. So this is something I really, really like. And I was thinking maybe doing the tutorial with that. And you can see it's pretty used a lot now. And I think from what I've seen on Twitter and stuff like that, It becoming like the kind of the #1 framework in Node.js right now. So, and they use Express behind the scene. You can change it to use Fastify, I think, if you want to get some speed and stuff like that. And if you look at the documentation, it's really, really awesome. What I like about the documentation now with framework and stuff like that, it's when they have like kind of recipes, like doing stuff with like type ORM, document Prisma and stuff like that. Plus, they also have a lot of technique. So if you want to add authentication, database, and queue, it's really awesome. I've done a lot of Laravel lately, and you have the queue by default. You can use that with Redis and stuff like that. And now here looks like they use builds, and this is the same kind of stuff they use Redis, and you can use a queue, background job, a lot of stuff, task scheduling, so for the background job, and I think it's really awesome. And I really like this kind of stuff where you have like your task services, you put your cron job and you say, hey, run this command every 45 seconds. I think it's awesome. So this one, I think it's one of the one I really kind of want to use, but I'm not quite sure yet because I know we can kind of do this same kind of pattern alone. What I mean by that, you don't need to look at this repo. It's something I've played a bit just to see if I can kind of get the same idea of the nest, but without the framework and stuff like that. And one of the things who make this happening, it's using a library called TS-Range, right there. So this library, it's built by Microsoft. So it's a lightweight dependency injection. And it's the same kind of idea you can get with Nest. And the idea, it's really like you can have your injectable. So you can say this class is going to be ejectable after that. And after that, you can get your instance when you resolve from the container. You can build a singleton. So it can be really nice when you want to use that for, I don't know, like some kind of caching stuff and things like that. You can have like your inject, your scope. So finally, yeah, it's really, really nice. And coming from Microsoft, looks like, again, like Netcore and stuff like that. So something to check. And so this API was just, I was playing finally, and I was building like, you can see like here inside my share, I have my container where I was registering the repository. So example, I was registering the user repository right there. And you just put your interface as the, I don't know how you say that, like your generic type. And after that, when you want to use it, like, I don't know, like example in your module user, you have you build your interface. So example, you build your repo, you build your repository interface. I was building my, after that, my, inside my DB, you just finally build this repository by implementing your user repository. And finally, after that, each time you use this database, finally your repository, you're gonna always use it from like a services. Like you see here, I use a services with my container. And if you look at the services, user services, create user. When I want to use the repository, you just make use of the interface. The idea is it's much more easier after that to test, because you can make sure that you test. You can finally mock your database for your unit test. So this way your tests go really quick, really fast. So it's really awesome for that. And yeah, it was really good. And as you can see, you have your injectable, you inject your repository. So a bit like what you can do with the Nest, but without the framework. So that was something maybe to check. But it's a bit more complicated if you don't have this kind of documentation. So yeah. After that, one of the things I was thinking about, it's maybe using Adonis.js version 5, who now use TypeScript. So I've been doing some blog posts on Adonis where I was building a TDD app with that. That was version 4, and the version 4, it's really using some stuff I didn't like the use keyword, who was kind of like the import, but because they have the same idea of like Laravel, I think that was why they make it like almost as that. And the idea about Adonis, it's really like Laravel. And this is kind of a thing I really like because I've been doing Laravel lately and I like the framework. It's maybe just sometimes the performance not that great, but yeah. And as you can see, the controller is pretty clean. You have your store method and stuff like that, and you build your model a bit like what you can do with TypeORM and stuff like that, where you have your column and stuff like that. Plus, if you look, they use active record pattern and stuff like that, who I kind of really like. And so example, if you use the model, you can after that do some query builder. So you can select all the user, you can select your user where the username equal vert, and you want the first one, and it's pretty nice. Plus you can also compute some stuff. What I mean by that, it's you can see like you want to get the age, who it's not saved in the database, but the age gonna be equal to the date birth modified with the date local time finally, where you get the years. So it's pretty nice. They have everything you can ask for a project. They have authentication built in, where you can have your APR Go. We use a GWT and stuff like that. They have a validator, a bit like what you do in Laravel, and also what you have start to do, I'm pretty sure, with EOP and Joy and stuff like that. And if we came back to the project, I'll just show you. If you look to my module user, and you go to your infra HTTP route, user route, I was using Joy from Celebrate. So Celebrate, it's a library who was using Joy. Joy is finally the version from API JS of Yop. And I was just doing the segment body. So on the body, I want the username to be required, email, etc. So that was same kind of pattern. Here you do the same thing, but also what you can do is you can build that from a class and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So yeah, the ID came from Laravel a bit, and I really like it. So that was the thing from the Node part. After that, when I was thinking about using Node, TypeORM is something I see a lot of people using, but I know now people start to moving from micro ORM. I've seen Ben Awad tweeting about that. I've looked at micro ORM and I kind of like it. It just, yeah, it's a bit less active record for me. Like I really like this pattern, but yeah, it's really nice. Also, I was thinking about using Prisma. I did try it. It's much more better than version 1. And when I say much more better, it's like it's like a really big 100 degree, and yeah, it's really nice now. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of example, looks pretty nice. And yeah, it's something I was thinking to maybe use as the backend. And my SAS ID and stuff like that was more doing React and not React Native. I know a lot of people here like React Native and stuff like that, but my project was a web based first. So for sure, if I use that in web, we're gonna use Tailwind. I've used Tailwind now, it's gonna be a year and a half or maybe almost 2 years, and really love it. Plus, now they are much better. They have now font, typography and stuff like that. They have a lot more stuff than before. And I know in React that don't play that much well as like style system and stuff like that. You can use it if you want like emotion or whatever. But I mean, for me, it's you just create more component and whatever you want, but it just make more sense now. I don't want to touch anymore in CSS and finding name and stuff like that. So I know you don't do this with style and stuff like that, but I like the fact that you have a team and finally your design system. I know I can use style system, but it's not the same as Tailwind. Tailwind is really great, and I think it's like I think right now it's the best CSS framework you can find. So. And my blog was built with that, so it's something I've played a lot with. And so here is the part of Node, and for sure if I use that for the front end, we're gonna use Next.js. But I was thinking also maybe using Golang for the backend. A lot of people, I've done a lot of Golang lately and stuff like that. I never really have built like a full project who just use Golang, so I always use it like some kind of route. but I was maybe thinking about using Echo. Echo looks really awesome. I never use it, but they have a lot of stuff going on. Or I was thinking about using Fiber, who have already done 2 videos with that, with like Express for Go finally. The performance, it's, I mean, if you look at some benchmark, I think it's one of the top, maybe, I don't know, like 10, 20 framework. It's not really a framework, but like 10, 20 router in the web, so it's really fast. And yeah, it's really nice. Plus, the thing I really like about them is the WebSocket support, who is really kind of easy to read. So, something to check. I was maybe thinking about just doing this in GraphQL. I know now Apollo version 3 is king. So, for those who ask, like what I think about GraphQL and stuff like that, it's like version 2 and before of Apollo for me was something like I did like, but not that much more issue than before. But now with version 3, with the reactive variable, who can become like kind of a global variable, who can be this to manage your client side state and stuff like that, I think it's really awesome. They go really forward, and this is something I want to use it. So maybe using GQL Gem. I think for me, you have two great server in GraphQL in the web, and for me is GQL Gem. The reason why is because it's like really you type your stuff first, they compile that, everything is typed, strict, everything. You don't need to use like I don't know, like in Node, like 10 library to to get to the same point, or it's absent from the Elixir side, who for me is just too much awesome. So they are really the 2 implementation I really find they are the best one. So it's really something to check if you didn't. I've done also a tutorial about that, and I was thinking maybe doing this. And yeah, so here is the part of Node. I was also thinking doing this in Phoenix. So first thing, yes, is the new documentation is really awesome. So Phoenix now have live view. For those who ask what is live view, I think live view it's incredible, and this is one of the reasons why almost all the language try to replicate that, but no one's gonna be close to what Phoenix can give you. The reason why is because of the performance and stuff like that. But the thing is, here, so for those who came from React and stuff like that, make a lot of sense. You have your render, kind of render in React. You have your mount, like your component in mount in React. And you have other stuff like that. And the live view finally is the fact that you can have now your front end, your HTML react to your backend, so become kind of like stateful. But the thing is, what I like about that is the fact that you're gonna write less JavaScript, and it's really fast. I've seen people building like Flipper clone and stuff like that, so really great. Plus, for everyone who know it, building real-time app with Phoenix, I think it's the best framework ever if you want to build a real-time app. So. But I think it's another mindset because of Elixir and the functional programming, but I really love it. Plus now they have a library called, they don't build it, but it's a library called POW, who add finally your authentication, and is really awesome. And they came with a lot of stuff like password reset, email confirmation, invitation, remember me. They came also with an idea about if you want to get your authentication with GitHub and other stuff. And the thing, and what I like also about Elixir, it's you need less third-party stuff. What I mean by that, it's example, if you want a cache, you can use ETS, which is kind of like the caching stuff you can use already in the Elixir programming. Who use it from Erlang. You can use also Amnesia and stuff like that. So it's really nice with the Gen server, and yeah, and I mean it's really good. So I was thinking about using POW. And yeah, so that's the thing about Elixir. This is something I really love, but I know a lot of you, it's not something who you don't have the same amount of jobs. So, but yeah. And I want to make sure I don't forget something. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you what was my ID. So a lot of you don't gonna understand what is the ID, but sorry, I'm gonna show you my SaaS. So remember, okay, what I told you, I can build my SaaS live streaming, you see me struggle, stuff like that, or I'm gonna just build another ID and you can put that in the comment. Like, I don't know, like I've done a Twitter clone, Instagram clone, whatever, like we can go where you want. So but my project, so it's not done yet. Here it's just really I don't make a lot of feature yet. So finally, I'm a hockey fan, and I do some fantasy hockey stuff where you finally bet some money with your friend, and you say which player you're gonna take. So each user takes some player and goalie and whatever, and when the player do a goal or an assist, you get a point. When the goalie win, you get 2 points and whatever. And at the end of the season, the one who have the more points win the money and stuff like that. And my plan was to make an app who's gonna help me with that. Because if you look at the other one, as you can see, it's pretty like I find like old. I don't want to bitch about the project and stuff like that, but this is kind of like the other stuff. Like you have your stuff from NHL and stuff like that. You have that, but everything is looking table. And when you look at the player, this is the way that looks. And I just find like my UI was a bit more better. It's not done yet. It was really quick. And the idea was you're gonna be able to create many pools. So you're gonna here have your list of pools. With your pools, you're gonna have access to your friend and talk to them and stuff like that. Choose your player, like the idea of the pool, it's when you decide, example, tomorrow is the day limit of choosing your player. If you choose finally your player step by, it's how you say that in English, it's one by one. So after me, it's another one, etc. And so the idea was to control all that and to see, example, a bit more graphic of helping you. Example, if you look at this player, Max Domi, you can see his point. Like you can see, like 2019, he did a lot of point versus what he's done in 2018. So you can see his progress, like the number of game play. So it can really help you. Like, hey, this player get injured a lot. So you see here he missed almost like 30 games. He missed like 11 games, but it's because of the COVID and stuff like that. You can see also his plus minus. For those who don't know that, the player was more on the ice than where they make a point, then they give one and stuff like that. So I was thinking about doing something like that. Like you can search another player, go really quick, see the information. After that, I was thinking about making like a button where you say like add to my pool and stuff like that. Having your standing, the wish list was the idea about, example, for the pool 2021 for the next year. Maybe you was thinking about taking some of the players. So example, you take, I don't know, like Crosby, who it's a player I think everyone know. You say, hey, I want this one, example, at first place. So when it's your turn and it's your first player to take, if you have the wish list, the program, finally I can take your player for you, so we can ask the one after you who to take his player and stuff like that. The idea also was having a lot of cron job. What I mean by that is I need to get the stat from NHL. Example, if you have a game today, I want to take the stat each minute, because I can send you notification about, hey, one of your player did a point, one of your goalie did win a game and stuff like that. Also, I need to do like kind of like a cron job each night, finally after 1 a.m. to like building a report to send you in the morning, like maybe like you've done like 20 points yesterday and stuff like that, and now in this pool you are ranked number 2, example, stuff like that. The idea is really like getting almost all the features you can get from those, but adding more stuff, because those you have only the notification, you have no notification almost, and the only time you can see the update it's at midnight. But for me, I've find a way to make it So that was the thing I was thinking to build. As you can see, already using Tailwind, it use React with Nest, and not Nest, but Next.js. And with the part, if you ask, like, it's really quick. And the reason why is in Next I use the new format where you have your static page. The reason why it's because your oops, sorry, I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I've done. Sorry about that. I'm gonna. I did want to open that. So if you look with Next, finally, with the statics. So finally, they build a static page with your kind of dynamic data. And why I can do this is because for me in this project, if you think about that, the player play at the end of the day. So I don't need to have, like, if the user go at 8 a.m. seeing this player's Piqué Subban example stat, if you go at 10 a.m. it's gonna be the same one. So you see what I mean? Like a lot of the time the stuff don't gonna be that dynamic. So that was one of the reasons why I was thinking about making this with Next. And they have make it really nicely, and they have a lot of the stuff I like. And as you can see, this is what they've done, is they have already kind of like have all the data right there. So what they've done finally is they have put your JSON. So here's my JSON, and they have this in the head. And if they find my stuff, like you see, it's your page props. And all of those stuff, it's something like, first, don't have any kind of private data and stuff like that. So here it's already the stat from this player. So now when you go and see this player ID, so example, if I go and see this player ID, I know they can fetch it pretty quick because they have it already. So this is all the data I take to render that. So that was my SAS ID, something I want to build. I know I don't express really good what I was thinking about all the features and stuff like that, but you're gonna see that. But the fact that you can manage multiple of your pool and stuff like that, it's something to check. And the name, don't worry, I'm gonna change it. It's really bad, but yeah. So that was the idea about where the channel is gonna go. Again, remember, podcast app continue, other stuff gonna continue. It's just about the new series. So yeah, so let me know in the comment which type of library, framework, whatever you want to see. If this is Adonis, if this is even Laravel, I love it. So if you want, I have Next.js, you have a Next.js for the front end. So for the front end, I have nothing else. I don't want to use Vue. I love Vue, but I want to use Next. If you want to see more like the pattern I've done here, where you're gonna build that all by yourself with the IOC container and everything. Also, if you want to use Phoenix Elixir, Phoenix Elixir, for me, it's awesome. So I really encourage you to check for this one. If we go with Go, that's gonna be with Fiber, surely. Echo can be something else to check, but I think Fiber is gonna win. Do you want to see that with GraphQL? GQL Gen don't work that well with Fiber from what I've seen, so maybe if we decide to go with GraphQL, I'm gonna just use the standard library for that. For the if we use Node for the database ORM, or whatever you want to call that, we can use Prisma, you can use Tap ORM, you can use Micro ORM. Tailwind, it's a no-go for me, for sure that's gonna go with that. But for Go, if you want to check, for me I was thinking about maybe using SQL C. So who generate your Golang code from your query. So you do this kind of stuff, like I want to have a function called getAuthor who's gonna return 1, so finally 1 author. And after that, they're gonna compile that for you, and they're gonna create this code really for you. So you do the same stuff as what you would have done with the standard SQL library, but they do this for you, so they generate the code, and it's much more better type and stuff like that. Or I was maybe thinking about using SQLX, which finally just on top of. It's something you can use on top of your standard SQL stuff. We make just a bit more easier to, you see, like if you do DB select and you pass it like your size of person, finally they're gonna already map the fill, the struct fill to whatever get returned from here, or the one I've used in the past in one of my projects that was GoPG. So I think it's the best if you want some kind of ORM and Golang for Postgres. It's one of the best one, I think, just because they give you a lot of stuff and it make a bit more sense than the other one. So yes, check that. Let me know in the comments. As you can see, I'm pretty open with everything. If you don't like my society, just let me know. I'm gonna build this by myself and I'm gonna show you a video at the end. I know it's not really the best example I've done. It's not really prepared, so it's something I've done like really quick. So yeah, let me know in the comments and we're gonna talk in the next video. Bye everyone.